A couple can have this idyllic French island all to themselves. But there's a significant catch. The French island of Camaines, near the country's northwest coast, is in many ways a desolate place. Icy waves crash against a rocky shore, and fierce storms lash across the treeless land in winter. 9 miles from the mainland and just under a mile long, the island would seem to be a daunting place to live, let alone run a working farm. But that's exactly what one family have done over the past decade. So what would make someone leave their old life behind to spend years as the only inhabitants of an isolated island? Well, as the Quizzners, who are the soon-to-depart current tenants of the island, explained to the BBC, coming here was an act of glorious folly, but it turned into the most wonderful adventure. We developed the farm into a successful business, we raised a family, it's been unforgettable. The Quizzners won their place on the island after replying to an advertisement placed by the country's Coastal Protection Agency. In return for living there, they agreed to look after the island and run the farm in a profitable way. And now it's another family's turn to become the island's caretakers. Living on an island barely a mile long, inhabited only by birds, seals, and farm animals might seem daunting. But the Quizzners, who moved here in 2007, now live in relative luxury compared to their first 6 months on Camaines. Back then, they had no running water or electricity. Those first few weeks on the windswept island must have been very challenging indeed. One of the earliest entries in the family's blog describes trying to take a simple shower. We opted for solar heating, skillfully crafted with 5-liter water cans surrounded by a black trash bag. The account read. The post also included the following observation. In April, the sun cannot heat a can of 5 liters of water, even cleverly placed in a black bag. Of course, cold showers aren't the only trials that the intrepid Quizzners have had to deal with. From storms and plagues of rabbits to generating enough income from their farm to pay the rent, life on the island hasn't been easy. Ingenuity and a positive attitude have proved to be essential. One year we lost a whole potato crop because of rabbits, David Quizner told the BBC. But luckily we diversified with other activities, so we just got on with it and eventually the hard time passes. Just like in winter when there's bad weather, you stay warm by the fire till it's over. The Quizzners have certainly seen their share of bad weather as well. The storms here might not last just hours but weeks. And in 2014 the island experienced a salt fog, like a sandstorm but made of salt sucked up from the sea by gale force winds. Not something anyone would relish farming in. A year after they moved to the island, another storm brought with it a macabre discovery. Walking along the beach alone, David found 4 skeletons that had been unearthed by the ferocious waves. The most likely explanation seemed to be that the remains belonged to unfortunate sailors killed in a shipwreck and washed ashore years earlier. Another grisly incident was when Sozette Quizner accidentally sliced off her fingertip. As a result, the local emergency services were really put to the test. They proved very efficient, thankfully, as within 20 minutes a helicopter ambulance had arrived. Yet despite all the difficulties, David and Sozette thrived on the island. As well as creating a profitable farm, they even added 2 children to their family. And during their time on Camaines, they've made plenty of changes to the landscape there. Sozette told the BBC that it was overrun with thorn bushes and ferns when they arrived. Not only have the Quizzners been successful farmers of potatoes, but they also grow organic cereals and take advantage of their island location by harvesting seaweed. In addition, they raise livestock, including sheep. Half the year, they also run a guest house for people interested in experiencing life on Camaines themselves. Camaines is part of a rich and diverse ecology. In fact, there are a lot of islands here which are nature reserves, Sozette told the BBC. With that in mind, the Quizzners aim to combine a successful business with the environment. All their energy is produced on the island itself from wind turbines and solar panels. Furthermore, no synthetically compounded fertilizers or pesticides are used on their crops. Fresh water on Camaines is supplied by rainwater and a well. Any wastewater is cleaned through phytoremediation, which means using vegetation to remove impurities in order to minimize pollution. And even the toilets on the island make use of sawdust rather than precious water. Although growing Mona Lisa potatoes and selling them online has been an important source of income for the Quizzners, they once viewed seaweed cultivation as their future. They had plans to set up a factory on the island, in fact, to process the seaweed into edible products such as pickles. But unfortunately, the water on the island was not up to French food production standards. If there's one issue the Quizzners have not had to deal with on Camaines, however, it's loneliness. The fact is we live in modern times, they explained. From the farm we can see the mainland and other inhabited islands. We have the internet, we have constant visitors. Never once have we felt alone. And that's no doubt a heartening revelation for the future occupants. There are a number of reasons why the Quizzners are leaving the island. Firstly, they've been in a dispute with the Coastal Protection Agency over rent, and that's a battle they don't wish to continue. We work, we live, we're happy with what we do, but we don't want to fight, the couple told a Telegram. Then there's the matter of their children's schooling. David and Soyzik are keen to start their own seaweed collecting enterprise using the experience they've gained on the island. We've given our time and energy to Caymanes for 10 years. We want to think a little about us today, they explained. But will the Quizzners feel sad to leave their island home? These 10 years of our lives have been amazing, Soyzik told the BBC. But if we've decided to go, it's because we have new plans. So yes, it'll be emotional. It's a chapter of our lives ending, but not sad.